Hi, everyone. My name is Randy Weiner. I am one of the co-founders at Brass Tacks Innovations, along with my colleague, Dr. James Bailey. And in this short video, I'm going to provide an overview of our AI services with a particular focus on implementation versus information. So let's get down to brass tacks. We partner with schools and organizations to enhance your capacity, particularly your creative capacity, to reframe and solve challenging problems in a dynamic educational landscape. We know how challenging it is to lead and execute in an increasingly complex environment. And so we come to you seeking to support you in making sense of and finding even better, more creative solutions to the challenges that you're facing. In this case, with a focus on AI adoption and usage. Our point of view with regard to AI is that this is a genie that is out of the bottle and it is not going back in. At Brass Tacks, we fundamentally believe that learning by doing is best, especially when confronted with something as complex and fast-moving as AI. AI usage is a life skill for all of us, not just for our students. We all need to become more familiar and facile and comfortable with using and exploring both its potential and its challenges. We recognize, as we imagine you do, that equity issues abound with regard to the use of AI, and that needs to be an important part of any considered discussion around how to think about AI in your schools or districts. We'd also submit that the size of this challenge, which seems to grow every single day, may very well suggest the size of the opportunity, and that digging in and starting to learn about this issue, this topic, in a hands-on way will be the best way for you to start to make more sense of how AI fits into your program. We see the fundamental problem here as one of speed, and that as capable as school leaders are, the pace at which AI is moving and changing and developing is far too quick for most leaders to be able to process in parallel. It's not to say that leaders don't have the capacity to do so. It's to nod to the fact that the demands that leaders and teachers face are so significant that putting AI, making sense of AI on top of an already overburdened scenario is a real serious challenge. With that in mind, we find that leaders' mindset matters a whole heck of a lot. How the leader perceives AI, how the leader comes to addressing questions, addressing challenges with regard to AI matters because it's going to set the tone for the whole of your community. And so one of the places that we would look to focus on working with you first is just clarifying, where are you with regard to your perspective on AI right now? What's informing that? Where do you see the positives? Where do you see the negatives? And how might we build upon those? As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we care deeply about implementation, about taking action. And so here are 4 prompts you could plug into an AI engine right now to give you a sense of what the possibilities are. This is relevant whether you've dabbled with AI or not. Each one of these represents the kind of prompts, the kind of support that AI can offer to you. And so one example is the notion of trend analysis. And here we're talking about taking a look, perhaps in a more detailed and more rapid way, at your absentee data. Right? AI may be able to surface insights that you've not yet had an opportunity to see yourself. Schedule optimization is another example of a place where with just a few prompts, you may gain some insights into opportunities that exist for you, either with regard to your personal schedule or with regard to your whole school schedule, that might allow you to allocate your time in even better, more productive, more inspiring ways. Leadership nutrition may feel a little farther afield, but this is a great example of where a tool like AI might help you to do things that otherwise you might never get to. And so within just a matter of a minute or two, sharing a little bit of information in the form of a prompt with an AI engine around your food preferences and your job and your energy levels over the course of the day may lead to you quickly gaining an insight into what you might want to eat and when over the course of the day in order to ensure that your energy doesn't flag and you're even better positioned to support your colleagues and students throughout the entire day. And of course, instructional support is another area where you can right now grab this prompt, throw it into an AI engine, and very quickly get a 10-minute supplemental lesson on on any topic of your choice. And so by diving in, getting your hands dirty, seeing what the engines produce when you provide them with prompts like these will give you a sense right now of where you may be able to advance with regard to your AI usage. Staff engagement with regard to AI can be a real challenge. Right now across the country, there's a wide gulf between early adopters and folks who are a whole heck of a lot more hesitant or simply just don't have the time, again, because the demands of the job are already so significant, and trying to find time to make sense of something as complex as AI is a very big ask. But these kinds of prompts, again, we encourage you to just grab these and plug them into an AI engine for yourself or share them with your staff, have nothing to necessarily do with education. And that may be a good way to help people get their feet wet, to just help them see how quickly potentially valuable, interesting, intriguing information can be produced through the use of AI. And by starting in this lower stakes, hopefully non-threatening way, educators may start to find connections or inspiration for more directly related to their jobs prompts. At Brass Tacks, as I've mentioned, we care deeply about implementation and execution, and we follow you. We want to meet you where you are, especially with regard to AI, as it is such a new, challenging, complex, frightening to some issue. We want to understand what your beliefs are and then take those and help them to drive our process so that you feel as though those beliefs are embedded in the work that we're doing. And we're not here to assert a one size fits all approach to you making sense of AI in your particular world. And so that starts with a consultation and discovery period, just a frank discussion about what do you think about AI? Do you have any experience in using it? Have there been any major issues or successes that you've seen thus far? Following that, we conduct a rapid needs assessment to help us understand, again, where you'd like to focus, but also to allow us to provide you with some recommendations around where we think you may all benefit or may want to invest in exploration. That needs assessment drives strategic planning. This can be as big or as small as you want it to be. Again, we care deeply about implementation and execution, learning by doing. And so we like to view strategic planning as an ongoing process that we revise with you on an ongoing basis as newer and more accurate information comes to bear. And we get that information through application, often in the form of improvement science, plan, do, study, act cycles that so many schools are familiar with. Finally, coming out of the PDSA cycles, we provide ongoing support, ultimately to ensure that you're able to drive this process of continuous improvement and continuous learning on your own and without our support. An example of what generative AI strategic planning might look like includes a roadmap like this, where from September through March, we're working with you to work through those various steps. And it might include putting in place something very quickly early on in the school year that allows you to feel like you have a small toolkit of rapid responses while you are continuing to get up the AI learning curve. Because as we know, it's highly likely that AI issues are going to arise when you start school up again in the fall. And rather than feeling like you're unsure about how to proceed when those new issues arise, we can put you in a position to feel like you've got some immediate responses regardless of what the particular topic is. Then in October, we might start working together to increase your knowledge, the baseline of information that you have related to AI, defining specific use cases that you'd like to address. Again, one size doesn't fit all. What might be important in your community may not be important in another community, and here's where we're going to follow your beliefs in order to drive this process. Then, for example, in January, we might co-create policy level responses. Why is AI important within your school? How do you intend to use it? When do you intend to use it? Where? And what safeguards are in place to allow your community, your staff, and your students to feel like there's the start of a reasoned and intelligent roadmap to continue making sense of your AI implementation. Then, coming on the heels of all of that in March, you may be ready to set up your first PDSA cycles to establish an ongoing learning process that gives you concrete, real data to drive these cycles as you move forward. So that's a quick overview of Brass Tacks, how we're thinking about AI, how we might support you in your own work to make sense of AI and implement it in your school or district. If this has intrigued you, you can go ahead and scan that QR code in order to download our free AI playbook that will provide even more guidance around how you might approach this opportunity. You can reach out to us at info@brasstacksinnovations.com for a free 15-minute consultation with respect to your AI interests. And we also invite you to follow us on LinkedIn. Thank you all so much. We hope you're having a wonderful summer, and we look forward to hearing from you.